Welcome back to Kind Regards to the show. There was a time in advertising, probably around the 50s, maybe a little bit earlier, where ads always focused on sort of the benefits of the product. You know, this laundry powder cleans so much better than the other laundry powder, or it's cheaper. You know, some sort of benefit to the consumer, and it would just sort of list these benefits and kind of go, see, look, our product is superior. Come and buy. And then there was a change. There's a big change, and the change is still with us today. And that was that advertising realized that it didn't have to convince us to use a product. Instead, positive association was enough. This is related to the birth of lifestyle advertising, which is, the Marlboro Man and... Well, you see it in all kinds of ads today, but the Marlboro Man's a classic example. It would just be like a rugged cowboy riding across the plains, and he would do something cool, and then he would get out of Marlboro, and it would say Marlboro, and that was the whole ad. And you'd watch this ad, and rationally you'd go, what the hell? What do I know about Marlboro now that I didn't know before? Nothing. But that's not the point. The point is to give us positive feelings about this product. So the next time we're looking at Marlboro, we just have this feeling of independence, or this feeling of, self-sufficiency, or whatever the cowboy feelings. And it was immensely successful. Then it goes a step further, right? Some Coca-Cola advertisements you see and you go, oh yeah, it's a bunch of people having fun in the sun. How good, look, they're all, attractive, and they're all cool, and they're doing cool stuff, and they're wearing cool hats. Sick. This makes sense. This is lifestyle advertising. I get it. But then why would Coke put a big billboard that just says Coca-Cola on it? That's it. Why would they do that? And they do that all the time. You see Coke advertisements all the time that have no content other than the logo and the brand, the color, and the font that is the brand of Coca-Cola. Why would they do that? And the reason that they do that is because psychologically, familiarity is a more powerful force than so many other sort of forces in advertising. This goes so far that Coca-Cola against Pepsi in blind tests fails every time. Pepsi is consistently, apparently, I read this somewhere, consistently tastes better in a blind test where you don't know which one is which, right? But in non-blind tests, Coke wins every time. And the reason it is hypothesized for this is because when we know it's Coke, we have all these, we have seen Coke so much that we like it. This goes, again, further than brands. It's proved, because Coke, you would think, oh, well, what about all the lifestyle advertising? What about all this other stuff? But even just if you see a bunch of shapes, psychological experiment, they show you a triangle, a star, a square, a circle, a triangle, a square, a star, a circle. They show you 50 shapes, 50 of the same 5 shapes. Whichever one is shown more often, or the most times rather, is the one that you will pick as your favorite, generally speaking. Statistical averages. Is the one that you will say I feel most attached to, or I like the best. And so familiarity is this super strong force. I want to talk about it today in reference to tourism. We're traveling around in a van, and you would think that it's really freeing, and you get to see all these places every day. You get to go to a new place. Oh, a new beach every day. A new, vista everywhere you look is new and exciting and novel. And this is true. That is a large part of living in a van is the transient sort of aspect. You are moving very frequently. And there's a beauty in that, especially looking into it. Now that we're living it, there's also a kind of hollowness that comes with this. And I think it's directly related to the familiarity idea. And I would say it's a problem with tourism generally. And this is just a thing that I feel, and I'm not trying to take shots at anyone and their sort of preferred method of travel, but I think it's an interesting idea that when you move into a new place, the place lacks significance. Every day a new beach, what does a beach become to me? What is it? What is my relationship to the beach? There is no relationship. And I said this to my buddy. I said, I just find that I don't care about the places that I'm in. And I would love to care about where I'm at. And he said, well, how do you do that? And I said, well, it's the same way that we develop relationships with anything. We spend time together. We have shared interests. We want the same sort of things. Sorry, I've got a notepad here, so I'm trying to flesh the ideas out a little bit more. There's a sense of reciprocity, that I bring something to the place, and also the place brings something to me. There's a, I don't want to say a tit for tat, but some sort of a give and take relationship, or a relationship of mutual benefit. That's probably a better way to put it, because I'm not looking for a one, you give me one. It's not an even exchange, but it should be a relationship of mutual benefit. And as a tourist, I find it hard to feel like I am benefiting a place by being there. Of course, I spend a little bit of money when I'm there, and I try and leave no trace and sort of pick up my rubbish and things like that. But ultimately, do the people who live here want me here? Does the place, the environment, the sort of ecological environment appreciate my visit? I'm not really sure. These are questions that I can't really answer, or I'm unclear on the answers. And so this form of relationship to place, this idea of relationship to place, is, I think, spread across everything. It's the same way that we have relationships with people and, content, right? Why is it that we sign in to TikTok or into YouTube so that we get a personalized feed? It's because the feed gives us things that we already know. It gives us familiarity. It gives us genre that we already understand. It gives us creators that we already know and that we feel like we have a relationship with. And that feels good for us. It would be insane, I think, or not insane, but most people don't sign into YouTube, most people don't forego signing into YouTube so that they can have a totally novel feed. Oh, it's so exciting. It's all different. It's new every day. A new video that I've never even seen before, and it's a slime video. I've never even watched those. Crazy. No one would do this because they have no relationship to the slime video. They have no relationship to Mr. Beast content that's designed for, 13-year-olds or whatever. I don't know, Mr. Beast. But they have no relationship. Why don't we do like speed dating all the time just to meet new people, just to have fun? Oh, 15 minutes with a new person, that's so fun. Woohoo! Why don't we do that? Because we don't know them. We have no relationship with them. We don't care about them, right? Like, it's a very special person who can show up with a complete stranger and treat them like they're a longtime friend, which interestingly is what the Dalai Lama says. That's how he tries to be compassionate to all sentient beings. Every person he meets, he says he treats like an old friend, or he tries to. So it is a very spiritually, I think, advanced thing to treat everyone equally and everyone as if you deeply care about them. And if you're on that level, power to you. And aspiring to be on that level is great too. But I think the reality of all of our lives and all of our psychologies is that, or the most of us at least, I don't want to be too sweeping, is that we like it when we feel cared for, we like it when we care for others, and we like having a deep relationship with the place that we're in, obviously, but also the products that we consume, brand loyalty, also the creators that we interact with online, the books that we read, similar authors, that kind of thing. It feels good, and in a big way, I think it's wholesome. And so what I want to do is develop a relationship to place. I want to settle down after this sort of van lifing is over, because the drive builds every day to be in one place, to have a home and to care for that home and care for the environment around the home, and to notice more things and sink deeper into relationship with place, with the community, and on and on and on. But there is a balance here as well, because I've said in other videos that Robert Pirsig divides up the world into static patterns, things which are and have been and repeat themselves, repetitious things, whether it's like physical objects that repeat themselves through time, exist through time, patterns of inorganic value, he would say, but inorganic matter, like stuff, or whether it's social patterns, handshake etiquette that we repeat again and again. These are all patterns. They exist through time, but there's this other force in the world other than patterns, which is dynamic quality, which is the new, the novel, the inventive, and the exciting, the artistic, the dynamic experience, dynamic perceptual experience. And these things are in balance. If we only have static stuff, if we only have what we know, then nothing new ever comes in, and things that do not change will pass away. Things that do not change will die. And so we need evolution, we need to push forward, we need novelty and excitement. And so there is a balance here, but how do we find that balance in the context of being settled in a place and in a community, having a home, and not moving from that home for a long period of time, maybe years and years, maybe 10 years. How do we do that? And I think that the answer would be that we can explore infinitely where we already are. And we can form deeper relationships with place by A, exploring literal places that we haven't been before within our community, and then B, by coming to it with beginner's mind and with fresh eyes, and seeing what we have already been around but we haven't actually seen before. So forming a deeper relationship by depth of perception, I suppose, or like a real new vision, not vision, but a new perception, I heard the phrase once, the more you see, the more you look. Sorry. I've heard the phrase once, the more you look, the more you see. And this is the essence of that idea, is that if we are settled in a place and yet we keep spending time in that place, keep sitting in different seasons, we will see different details of the place. When we talk to new people in our community who have always been there, it's still our community, but we can explore and deepen our relationship with the community as a whole, with the place as a whole, by coming to it with fresh eyes and realizing that we do not need to go somewhere else to have novel experiences. I think, Wendell Berry, if you want to explore more, Wendell Berry has essays on this. I'll see if I can find one and link it. But he talks about sort of the dark side of tourism and how on the Sabbath, his Sabbath, because he's a Christian of sorts, he explores very close to home and tries to deepen relationships with place. So a more in-depth discussion can be found there. But yes, thanks very much. This was Kind Regards. I hope this finds you well. Thanks for watching. If you want to listen to these on Spotify or watch them on YouTube, or read the articles that I write for Kind Regards on Substack, the links are below. Thanks very much. Take care.